So right here, as I promised, my Thraximundar deck. The commander, completely done. Sorry if the autofocus isn't working as good. Whenever Thraximundar attacks, defending player sacrifices a creature, which is a pretty good mechanic. And I decided to capitalize on that mechanic specifically and make a control shell and foil my whole deck out. So there's the commander. Next we'll do the lands. Obviously you want as many fetch lands as you can, so we started off with Bloodstained Mire, Arid Mesa, Wooded Foothills, Flooded Strand, Misty Rainforest, Verdant Catacombs, Marsh Flats, Polluted Delta, Scalding Tarn, Underground Sea. Now we're going to dual lands. We have all three for the colors that you can have for Thraximundar. Underground Sea, Volcanic Island, and Badlands. After that, we'll go to the shock lands. Obviously, we have all three in here too, so you could fetch for them as well. We have Steam Vents, Blood Crypt, Watery Grave. Then we have a few other just random lands that I thought, were good for the control shell that I built here. We have Sulphur Falls, Bajuka Bog to help me, get control of graveyards if someone has a graveyard deck. Temple of Deceit. Foily Rishadan Port, because of course, why not? Maze of Ith. Unhinged Mountain. And this is obviously the next card I think I'm going to change out. Unhinged Island. This is the Judge promo, Therese Nielsen Swamp. I think I'm going to change out the mountain and the island for Judge promos. Urborg. Strip Mine, this is from the vaults. Wasteland, this is the player points. Halimar Depths. Lava Claw Reaches. Dragon Skull Summit. Drowned Catacombs. Crumbling Necropolis, Reflecting Pool. Command Tower. And Mana Confluence. And that is all 35 lands in the deck. I'm debating whether or not to put 36 in because I've had some trouble. That's the only kind of trouble I actually have sometimes is being land screwed. Here's the creatures I have, and I chose all the creatures for specific mechanics to help, like I said, to make a control theme. This is if someone has an artifact deck, whenever it deals damage to a player, gain control of all the artifacts that the player has. So that's pretty good. I have Hellkite Tyrant. Consecrated Sphinx is obvious card drawing mechanic monster. Gingin Traxxas. I can get this out on turn 1 sometimes turn 2, just depending on how good my hand is. That's pretty much game over once he lands. Erebos, another draw engine. Kuranos, an enchant draw mechanic that's indestructible. Shieldred, I could dump a whole bunch of creatures in my graveyard, get one back per turn, and make them sacrifice. Massacre Worm, this is for token decks. They have a bunch of tokens in play. Or even if there's like an elf deck or just a fast deck like that, this really gains control and puts me over the top. Blightsteel Colossus, combo's really good with sneak attack. Thassa, It That Betrays. Now, everyone doesn't like this in there, but the reason I have it's one of the few draws you can throw in your graveyard and reanimate. Snapcaster Mage, that should just be an obvious. Wormcoil Engine. And Runescarred Demon, which is another draw mechanic with a body on it. Next, we'll be moving to sorceries. The obvious, Treasure Cruise, just pretty good in EDH. Dreadbore, just good utility for Planeswalker and removal. Reanimate, that's the one mana cost that helps me get my big creatures from the graveyard into play. Bribery, this is the Judge promo. Dread Return. Damnation, this is the player points, board wipe. Mind Twist, probably eventually upgrade that to alpha or beta. Temporal Mastery, that's just taking extra turns, everyone has that in their deck. Rise of the Dark Realms. This has been a killer. A lot of the times I put a bunch of creatures in and just wait for me to get this, and it's game over. Yawgmoth's Will. This is the Judge promo. You can play cards in your graveyard, then you exile them, which is really strong if they board wipe you or anything. Toxic Deluge. Just a really good utility. Thoughtseize. I got this altered in GP by the actual artist. And it's foil, yes. Chainer's Edict. Just from the vaults, just good utility for 2. And the Judge promo Demonic Tutor signed by the artist. There goes my sorceries. Next, we'll be pulling the Planeswalkers. We got Liliana of the Veil. Everyone knows what that does. We have Ashiok. I got this signed by the artist at the GP. We have Karn Liberated. We have the SDCC 2004 Liliana Vess. We have the foil deck Faden from Conspiracy. He's just spiked up like a monster. I can't believe he's up to $400. I think he'll pass this guy right here eventually. Well, this is the cheap version. I want to go to World Wake soon. But Jace the Mind Sculptor. There's the Planeswalkers. Not too many of those, but I think I picked the right choice. Enchantments. We got Whip of Erebos. Sneak Attack, the Judge promo. Stranglehold. This has been a really, really, really good card, and I think that it's worth more than the $9 that it is. Animate Dead. That's just an obvious for this format. And Phyrexian Arena. Just, draw engine. Everyone, I think, has that plays black. On to the instance. You got Mystical Tutor. That helps you search for your miracle cards and everything else. The DCI Judge promo for Vampiric Tutor. Frantic Search, draw 2, discard 2, then untap 3 lands. That's obviously really helpful in this deck for the recursions. Brainstorm Arcadian Mask. Entomb. Factor Fiction. Hero's Downfall. Cyclonic Rift. Dig Through Time. Pact of Negation. Mana Drain. Now I really like this guy's signature. Mark Teaton has an awesome signature. This is obviously one of the most powerful broken counterspells in the game. You have F&M promo counterspell. I like this one, it's pretty cool. Then the Judge promo Force of Will, the most coveted counterspell you can get in the game. Rewind. Counterflux, which I think is amazing for this format. And the Player Point Cryptic Command. That makes up the instance we have here. Bear with me, we're getting to the end here. This is the artifacts, last but not least. We have Nervaniel's Disc, which is just obvious for board wipes. Sorry, we'll autofocus. There we go. Perilous Vault, same thing. Quicksilver Amulet. I like this because it helps me sneak creatures in at the end of their turn. Lightning Greaves, the F&M promo, my favorite picture. Gilded Lotus from the Vaults. Just ramp. More ramp. I want to trade this one in for the DCI promo eventually. Thran Dynamo. Mana Crypt, the promo. That's really good. Crucible of Worlds, the Judge promo. Again, one of the best cards, I think, in Legacy. In Commander, sorry. And Sensi's Divining Top, which every single Commander deck should have. Well, thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed it. And that's my version of Thraximundar Control.